Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues, and this video is going to be, if you can't tell, is going to be an Arkham video for Batman Arkham Knight. This coming Saturday, we will be exactly 1 month away from the release of Batman Arkham Knight on PS4, Xbox One, and PlayStation are the three consoles or devices you'll be able to play the game on. This is going to be a response slash my own personal thoughts videos. ODC That's Me had just recently done one. We've been talking for a while about some of the things in Batman Arkham Knight. Hopefully I've said Arkham Knight, not Arkham City. Hard to keep track of all the Arkham games. Arkham Knight in our chat log that we've had for a little over 2 years. It's kind of funny to think that the group of us have been in communication almost daily for 2 years now. I first brought up you kind of see Red Hood here. I'm looking backwards in my camera. First of all, shout out to GameStop. They gave me these wonderful posters back here that if you've gone into a GameStop recently, you've probably seen both of these posters. If you're wanting to pick them up, GameStop on this Sunday, the day that I'm filming this, and it is the 17th of May. I'm looking at it right now, so you may kind of run out of time depending on when I put this up. But they are changing their signage over in their stores right now, and they generally just throw them away unless anybody asks them. I told them I'm doing a Batman Arkham special and series on my YouTube channel. They were very eager to give me these two posters here, so thank you to GameStop in Findlay, Ohio. Shout out to that store. And they are going to be getting me, I think, you can kind of see it here off to the side, the Batman Arkham Origins standee right there that I've had as a backdrop before. They have a big Arkham Knight standee in their store, and they're going to let me have that one, I believe. They had to check with their manager. So if you want some of the signage and stuff, go to some of your local GameStops as they're pulling some of the stuff out. They're going to be throwing a lot of the stuff away. The manager says sometimes they will raffle them off at their store at a midnight release. They'll give like 1 or 2 out as a door prize or something like that for coming into a midnight release. But telling them I'm doing this Arkham video series, and ODC, That's Me, and myself, and I believe Tim, I always get his last name wrong, Dracy. Sorry, Tim, if I get your last name wrong. I think a couple years ago we did the Batman Arkham Origins discussion video. So the week of Batman Arkham Knight coming out, I know ODC and I are definitely going to do one. I'm going to try and pull Tim back in. The three of us will have a discussion of our thoughts and feelings from Arkham Knight once we get closer. I think once we get into the last month that the video game is going to be coming out, we're going to get a flood of information and just new and different things that the game is going to have to offer. So this is going to be really cool game. So I imagine a lot of you out there are picking up the games or the action figures that are coming out. I'm completely stoked for this game. I cannot wait. So ODC, in our discussion we've been having, I first had this idea when I reviewed the Mattel figure. I got my notes here so I get this right. The Mattel Multiverse Red Hood figure that was the first Red Hood figure from Arkham Knight that had come out. I reviewed that back in October 18th of last year, 2014. If you want to see that video, it's Rob's Rogues 230. You can look it up that way. That's the first mention that I make about the idea of who and what I think Red Hood is and the Arkham Knight. I've had some comments in my in my Red Hood video already, and I'll kind of address it here. Anthony got the video out before I had a chance to. I've been working some overtime here, so I only watched just the very beginning of his video, so thanks for the shout out in that. And I purposely didn't watch his video until after I do this one, so I'm not constantly going, well, like Anthony said, I want to keep all these thoughts coming from me, so I'll probably end up piggybacking some things that Anthony said in some of his videos, but then I don't feel like I'm saying verbatim what he is. I kind of keep the thoughts to myself, but I think I'm not exactly sure how he feels about some of that. Again, I didn't watch it yet, and I'll do that after this video. So all that rambling aside, I do have some bullet points I'm going to go over. It's just going to be kind of loosey-goosey is the technical term I'm going to use in this video, of just some thoughts that I've had. And again, I started having these thoughts. It sounds really weird, like I'm in a therapist's office. But I started saying them in October of last year, once we started seeing the first initial images of what the Red Hood character is going to be like, and all the, the few images we saw of the Arkham Knight as well. So I'd like to, if I'm right, I could say, hey, I was right, clear back on October 18th of 2014. I blame my wife for a lot of this stuff, because when we watch like crime dramas like NCIS or Criminal Minds or Law and Order SVU, she's really quick to go, oh, it's that guy, she has a really good way of watching it in the first 30 seconds, and something she says, and something I learned in, English in a writing class, is an author doesn't tell you something that they don't want you to know. If you are hearing things coming out in the story, it's like, pay attention to this thing, because in a little bit, it's all going to make sense. So you go back and go, oh, they were clearly talking about that in the very beginning. How did I miss that? So these are things that I'm kind of picking up on, that I'm wondering, knowing what we knew from Arkham City and Arkham Origins, some of those first images and even plot points and even trailers that they were showing, you start looking at it and going, oh, they were telling us something right off the bat that, of course, now it makes sense now that it's all over. So these are things I'm looking at going, I think this might be something. So I'm going to kind of throw all the chips out on the table and guess at some of these. And I do have some strong opinions and beliefs on that. I think I might be right. But again, I don't know anything for sure. It's not like I'm in contact with Rocksteady and I'm going, oh, I saw a spoilerish. This is totally coming from me, Rob. So I could be completely off base. I could have part of this right. I could have some of this right. I'm not going to say spoilers here, because I don't know if it's a spoiler. If you don't want to watch this, because I could guess at something that, oh, wow, you were right, clear back, in May, May 17th. And you ruined it for me on the 23rd when I played the game. I'm sorry, this is just a guess. So let's just start off right here. I've got my Red Hood hat on, and I've got Red Hood here, and posters with Red Hood on it. A lot of this is going to stem out of a discussion that we had on our Rogue Show chat log, that this is kind of what I think could potentially happen in the video game. Again, it's just a guess. I could be totally off base, so we'll see at the end of June if I'm right or not. This is in line with the Red Hood figure that has just recently come out. I've reviewed him. I know a lot of us have. You've kind of probably seen him in posters up here, and on YouTube the figure is finally starting to come out, that a lot of people have been reviewing him. Right now is one of my absolute favorite figures from DC Collectibles. DC Collectibles is firing on all cylinders on articulation in the Arkham line, and just articulation in general. The paint apps on this guy are absolutely fantastic, and I think they're nailing it on this figure. This could be the figure of the year for me. We still have quite a ways yet before 2015 is officially over yet, but this is a top notch. And this all kind of this first little bit of the video here kind of came out after looking at this figure, and then the Play Arts Kai showing images of the Arkham Knight figure from their line of figures that are coming up pretty soon. So, sorry, I got a little distracted by a cat roaming around my feet here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to cut in and splice in with video images or actual images of the things I'm talking about here. I'm going to try and do it with less cuts as possible. I may put pictures and images at the end of the video so you can see what's going on. Sorry, as I'm trying to swat at things here. So you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about as the reference point. So I'm thinking I might do that. So if you stay tuned to the end of the video, you'll get an idea for that. Sorry, got a very angry cat down by me. So first things first here. When the Arkham Knight figure, first of all, the Arkham Knight figure has been delayed. He was originally supposed to be in the first wave of the DC Collectibles action figures, and then they pulled him from the release, and I think he's going to be a September release, if I read that correctly. So quite a bit of ways past the video game, and I've speculated on it, and a lot of other people have too, that with all the accessories and hands and things that you can remove off of some of the figures, that a lot of people believe, and I do too, that there must be something with the Arkham Knight action figure that gives away to the identity of who the character is in the video game. So that's kind of our first take, that there must be something cool, or just something we don't know what it is, that if we were to have the figure, we would know the identity of the Arkham Knight before, or have a really good guess before the game even comes out. So this is where it could be spoilerish. It's hard to say this is a spoiler video when I don't have any concrete evidence, and I'm not saying, okay, spoilers if you don't want to know. I don't know anything. I'm going to probably kind of iterate this frequently throughout the video, that I know zero. I only know as much as you do. Some people are really good at looking at videos that Rocksteady is putting out, or the action figures that we get, or just a general information that we see. So some people just look at a video just for face value, and others of us are looking at videos for fine-tooth combs, and so that's what this is going to be, just from by me looking at all the products and everything that's kind of out here. So they pulled Arkham Knight actual character back to September, I believe, if I read that right. So right around the time of Wave 2 of the Arkham Knight figures is when that's going to come out. I think the Play Arts Kai figure is right around the same time, if not 2016 is what I think maybe the Play Arts Kai figure could be. But they recently showed the figure, and then showed the accessories that the Arkham Knight is going to come with. And two of the accessories are the exact same pistol that the Red Hood figure uses. They look exactly the same, same design, the bulky part of the gun, and everything looks the same. So that got me thinking, and I had this idea originally back in October. I'm looking at my notes here. October 18th, 2014, when the Multiverse Red Hood figure came out, that I have speculated, I wonder if the Arkham Knight isn't in fact Jason Todd. And I know people right now are going, Rocksteady has said that the Arkham Knight is an original character. You are 150% absolutely right. The Arkham Knight character is an original character. This is something that Rocksteady created from the ground up. It's their own creation, everything all together. That's not to say the person inside the suit isn't somebody else that currently exists in the Batman universe. And I think one of the comments on my Red Hood video recently, that they were saying that Rocksteady saying, the whole entire character's new. I think Rocksteady has to say that if they go, well, the Arkham Knight character's new, but we don't know about the person inside. They're only saying what they absolutely have to. It's kind of the old adage, don't say 7 words when 5 are going to do. That's really hard for me to do in a review. Trying to be short and concise. We're at 13 minutes here, and I'm just now getting into the video. Yeah, we've never seen the Arkham Knight in any other form of medium. He's never been in comic books or movies or had his own action figure or anything until right now. So yes, that statement is 100% true. You're absolutely right. The Arkham Knight is a brand new character created by Rocksteady. They have not said anything about who or what is inside of the suit of Arkham Knight. We haven't seen a playable demo yet of the Red Hood. One of the first things we found out from the game coming out was that the Red Hood is going to be a playable character. So a lot of us were like, cool, it's Jason Todd. They have yet to even mention Jason Todd's name. And I think that could be for a couple reasons, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. Some people have said Red Hood could be a skin for the Arkham Knight, or the Arkham Knight could be a skin for the Red Hood in the challenge map. So It's kind of curious what his DLC is going to be like. You see Harley Quinn here is also going to have a DLC. Those are the first two that are going to be part of the game. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how those are going to pan out. Um, so I know guns are, you could say one AK-47 looks exactly like somebody else's AK-47 or whatever, but these are really specific looking guns. There's a specific design to them, so I find it really hard to believe that two separate characters have the exact same gun. So that's something else. They're both very militaristic in their armor. Uh, the Arkham Knight has red in his camo, so he has red camo. Why choose red of all colors in the universe? Why is it red? Red hood, red camo. The guns look the same. They're both wearing helmets. The Arkham Knight's helmet has bat ears because there must be some connection to Bruce. I think this is a character that has a personal beef with Batman and Bruce. I believe the Arkham Knight knows who Bruce Wayne is. And what better way for it to be Jason Todd? And somebody could be pounding their fists on the table saying, well, Rob, time out. That's not Jason Todd's origin. I know. This is the Arkhamverse. In the Arkhamverse, Barbara Gordon is in a wheelchair. She's not Batgirl. Tim Drake is still Robin, much older. Dick Grayson is still alive, or not alive, well, alive. He's not running around as Grayson, although I would be surprised if we don't get a Grayson skin for Nightwing. And I kind of think we'll get a Red Robin skin, a New 52 skin. I'll get into that in just a little bit. I'm getting off topic here. So in the Arkhamverse, I mean, we've had Quincy Sharp die. We've had Hugo Strange die. The Joker has died. So there's been a lot of death and things that are different. So I think Arkham Asylum was very much, you could take it as comic book canon for the most part. I think once we get into Arkham City, it really starts to become its own thing, its own universe. So, I mean, we don't have Damian running around in here. Talia is dead in this. Ra's al Ghul is presumed dead, although his body has slowly disappeared. So Al Ghul has been killed many times thanks to a Lazarus pit. So I think a lot of that could play into part of this, which I think if we just come out with it being the Red Hood, a lot of us that really know our comic history and watch, the animated movies under the Red Hood aren't going to be surprised that it's Jason Todd is the Red Hood. Mattel went as far as to not list the identity of the Red Hood, because I do believe there are some Bat fans out here that are like, their Batman is the Michael Keaton films, and then that goes into Val Kilmer and George Clooney, and then the Christopher Nolan movies and the upcoming Batman versus Superman movies, that some people may not be reading comics and may not know who the Red Hood is or have a vague knowledge of who it is. So I think finding out that the Red Hood is Jason Todd, and that Jason Todd was a second Robin that was beaten or killed by the Joker, with already having Tim there and having Dick, there has to be something in the middle between the two of them that I think this will come out in the way of the video game. I think that's going to be there. So if it was just the Red Hood, a lot of us would already know, okay, it's Jason Todd. This is the main villain of the game, and the Joker's playing in there somewhere. So I think for a red herring, you almost have to go to the route of, let's create a totally new character to throw people off of the track. That a thought that I have is, you have Batman and the Arkham Knight fighting, and there's this knockdown, drag-out fight at the end, and something happens. At the end, you have this resolve, and you find out it's Jason Todd, and Jason realizes that maybe he was under control of the Scarecrow or had some Joker toxin still running through him. And at the end of the game, he decides, you know what, I don't need to be this Arkham character. I'm going to be the Red Hood. That's kind of my truncated answer that I think could play out, just with a few little things if you're kind of watching it. To me, it's the ammo, it's the way that it looks. The two characters look, the Red Hood and the Arkham Knight. There's a lot of similarities between the two of them. If I was Rocksteady, and I do guess this right, that the two characters are one and the same, why would you create the Arkham Knight to look so close, or to be close? I shouldn't say so close, to be close enough to the Red Hood to make people already start guessing. For it to be somebody totally brand new, it's like watching an episode of an ongoing TV series, and you have a new person in for one episode, and you kind of look at it and go, it's probably going to be that guy, because he's not a normal cast member. He's somebody new that's going to turn out to be, I'm a friend of so-and-so, and find out it's the big baddie. And sometimes you'll get a star having a guest role on a TV show in a crime drama, and you're like, okay, you're probably going to be the person that's responsible for this. And I think if the Arkham Knight is in fact a completely 100% new character, I mean the person inside, you'll probably peg it right away, because you're going to have to start seeing this other person interact with Bruce before, while the game's going on. So Bruce has a meeting with a long lost friend. Could be Tommy Elliott, throwing us off the track, and it's Hush or something. But you'd have to have this other person kind of constantly there, that you go, oh, it can't be this person. This is a childhood friend of Bruce Wayne, or oh, it's the janitor, or whoever it is. And then to see at the end of the game, it's in fact this other person. You can go, well, I kind of had that pegged from the beginning, that it is this new person. Or to really cement it, this would have had to been somebody that we've come in contact with in Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, to go, oh yeah, this person was there in Arkham City. So, or this was somebody that was roaming the halls of Arkham Asylum. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, they went clear back to Arkham Asylum. I think this game is in fact going to call back to Arkham Asylum. I think Rocksteady will even do some callbacks into Arkham Origins to tie the whole franchise together. Even though Arkham Origins is not theirs, we have Firefly in here. The comic book series that's going on right now talks about the Electrocutioner from Arkham Origins. So even though Arkham Origins is in a Rocksteady game, Rocksteady gave Warner Brothers Montreal their engine to do the video game. So I think it's in companion with it. So I think all 4 games are going to tie in really nicely together. So that's kind of my theory behind Red Hood. I think it makes more sense. Something I think will really cement this theory right into the ground. If at any point in this game we hear the first mention of Jason Todd, or, with the Joker dying and we finally getting to see Barbara Gordon officially in the wheelchair as Oracle, if those moments, because I think Bruce is going to be dealing a lot with the Joker being gone and the effect that it has on him, and that death is kind of a thing going around in the Arkham universe right now. As I got sunlight blasting me here, I apologize. That I think that's going to be played into the story, and longevity of Batman and these type of things. So if there's any mention of Jason Todd, it will give credence that the Red Hood is obviously Jason Todd. But I think I kind of got off track here. I think that's why Mattel didn't say on the back of the package who it was. I think Rocksteady was like, don't give the identity of Red Hood, just in case there's people out there that don't know who the Red Hood is. Which, if you're Batman fans, most of us probably know that it is Jason Todd. But if there's a few out there that don't, it'll seem more of a shock and surprise to them. So, going back to my other topic, if we get into any part of the game and there's a mention of Jason Todd, I think that's going to be our, I want to say, antagonist. I always get the antagonist and protagonist wrong. It's going to be our main villain, or our main thing. Speaking of main villains, the Arkham series is synonymous for throwing us off the trail and bringing us back to something else that is an underlying plot thread that ends up taking over the whole arc of the game. Arkham Origins was very much about between the conflict between Batman and the Joker. Arkham City, we were led to believe, was Hugo Strange. And it really turned out that it was Ra's al Ghul pulling the strings of Quincy Sharp and Hugo Strange. But the underlining part of that was the Joker. So the Joker has still been an overarching for the last two games, going back to a prequel game of Arkham. I get the two mixed up. I think I said Arkham Origins or of Arkham City. The underlying current was the Joker, with the Titan toxin still in Batman and in the Joker, causing the Joker's death, and Batman's being sent out to try to get the cure to cure the Joker, so he puts it in Batman. So you have that whole plot thread going on. So the Joker at the end of the day is still the big plot thread. And then jumping to Arkham Origins, where we're led to think it's Black Mask, but it's the Joker that has kidnapped Black Mask and is impersonating Black Mask. And then we have the first conflict between Batman and the Joker in the Arkham universe. So I said all of that to say, as much as I say that I believe the Arkham Knight and Red Hood are one and the same, we'll see if I'm right or not, I still very much believe that the Joker is alive in this game. If I'm wrong, the presence of the Joker is still going to be felt. If you're reading the comic book series, I've not done a comic corner in a while because I've been busy a little bit, and those will get back on track. But the Joker's presence is still felt there. You still have Harley Quinn wanting to carry something out for her beloved pudding, like she's going to eat Jello pudding pops. So you have that, and the Joker still having a presence felt, I think, is going to be there. There were images of Tara Strong and Mark Hamill entering a recording studio, and people were like, oh, this must be for maybe an adaptation of The Killing Joke or something like that. I think it could have been for Arkham Knight some recording dialogue. Now, this could be just in flashback sequences of the Joker. People have said, well, Mark Hamill said he's done with the character. I think that's a good red herring to throw out there. To say you're done with the character, to in fact secretly be working on this video game. Or they have possibly told him during the recording of Arkham City, hey, we have ideas for our upcoming game. I think that while they were doing Arkham City, that they were working on Arkham Knight. So they may have had plots of dialogue to say, well, before you're done and you're ready to leave, so we don't have to call you back, we want you to record these things so you're done and out. Even if it could be in the last part of the game, or little blurbs that we hear throughout the whole main story of Arkham Knight, that Mark Hamill did in fact record stuff clear back for Arkham City, so people don't have to see Mark Hamill enter a recording studio and go, oh, I think so. We've had some prop stuff show up on Entertainment Earth that is labeled Joker and Arkham Knight, and they were quickly taken down off of Entertainment Earth's website. So if you try to search for that stuff now, it's not there anymore. There's plenty of images out there online. So there's all these type of things kind of going on that are starting to give credence that the whole Arkham set of games has been about Batman and the Joker. So that is really hard for me to believe that the Joker will not make some appearance somewhere in this game. And I think it'd be totally fitting for the Joker to come back and had faked his own death. He'd kind of done it once already using Clayface as a decoy while he was sick. So I'm not going to... I won't be surprised if that happens. That'd be one of those, I knew it. This whole series has always been about Batman and the Joker. So to end on a video game with the Scarecrow as the big villain, with the Arkham Knight as this militaristic presence in the background, and the Scarecrow is trying to rally everybody together because he didn't like what the Joker was doing, and we're going to make this last push to get rid of Batman. I go, man, this is a perfect time for the Joker to make his appearance back. So the last thing I'm going to wrap up with here, and these are probably some unpopular thoughts that people are like, oh, please don't let it be the Joker. It's been the Joker in 3 games. 3 games by Rockstar, 2 games by Rocksteady, and 1 by Montreal. Do you really think the Joker? And this year, 2015 is the 75th anniversary of the Joker. It's also 75th anniversary of Robin back here and Catwoman, a bunch of other people. But the 75th anniversary of the Joker, you don't think that's somehow going to play into this story? It could just be a voice from the grave and all these little last-minute bombs or traps that the Joker was placing around for Batman to deal with. Aha, I'm gone and dead, but I'm going to get you one last time from beyond the grave. I don't see it. I think Rocksteady is being really coy in the way that they're saying things. Sometimes it's not the things they say, it's the things that they don't say. I don't want them to say a whole bunch and spoil the game for me before it comes out. I could be doing this in this video, but if you're just kind of paying attention to stuff, I think they're telegraphing stuff. If you look up the very first trailer of Arkham City, the very, very first one that they showed at, I think C2E2, I think is where it was, you get the drip, the medicine drip from the Joker, and he's pulling his blood out of it, his IV rather, and getting to put it in the syringe. That's the very first image we saw. So the Joker's was poisoned from the Titans. He's going to inject that into Batman. If you used your detective vision on the Joker the first time you meet him and Harley Quinn, the Joker doesn't have a skeleton because it's Clayface. Like all these little things were telegraphed to us in Arkham City to kind of show the very end of the game. The very opening shot in the trailer for Arkham City was the picture of Cain and Abel, of one brother carrying the lifeless brother of the other one, which is the very last scene in Arkham City with Batman carrying out the lifeless body of the Joker. So replay some of these video games again, or go on YouTube and watch all the cutscenes and see how they're telegraphing stuff. You know, we're seeing in-game stuff from Arkham Knight. So I'll be curious to see if I'm right. And if I'm completely wrong, I will make another video and go, I was absolutely wrong. I just think they're being coy with the Red Hood character, and I think they're being coy with the Arkham Knight character. And of course they're not going to say, well, the Arkham Knight character is somebody you know, but who could it be? Of course they're going to say this is a completely 100% new character. I think the character of Arkham Knight is real, but I firmly believe that the person inside of the suit is somebody we've already met in this Arkham universe, or is somebody that's part of the family that Bruce Wayne actually knows. I do not believe for 1 second that this is a completely brand new character, and we're supposed to believe that this is somebody that has a personal vendetta with Bruce and what happened with the Arkham situation that went on. I don't believe it's Quincy Sharp at all. I don't believe it's going to be, it could be Ra's al Ghul, and he's using disguise. He's back from the Lazarus Pit. It could be that, but my money's on Jason Todd, and then the DLC, especially if the Red Hood DLC says spoilers. If you play this, wait to play the main campaign before you play the Red Hood DLC. I think we have our answer right in there. So the last thing that I'm going to mention here is I'm already at 33 minutes and 33 seconds in the video. I knew I was going to have a ton to say. Is that the statue? I said it right there. The 2 statues that you can buy for the deluxe edition. You have the Batmobile statue and you have the Batman statue. The statue, there's plenty of images out there. You can Google it. If you can get a zoomed in picture of it, it says the Gotham Knight. So there's usually a couple reasons why a statue is erected in a city for somebody. It's usually for you've done something heroic. We have a picture of Davy Crockett. In my town, we have a picture of Johnny Appleseed for spreading apple seeds throughout the state of Ohio, and a statue is erected because they've done something really good. Or it's in memoriam. If you remember The Dark Knight Rises, Batman is dead. So they put a statue up of the Dark Knight that kind of represents that this was a hero that sacrificed his life for the greater good of the city. People are saying that the statue that you get in the collector's edition could in fact be a memoriam statue to Batman. You have the Arkham Knight. Batman risks his life at the end of the game, and a statue is put up in his honor. We have Dick Grayson making his very first appearance in story mode along with Tim Drake. We have the father and son trailer, the very first trailer from the Arkham Knight, the Last Will and Testament of Thomas Wayne, and it's to father and sons. So we all know that Bruce looks at his former Robins as his son. And I think Damian could play into this somewhere. I'll get to that in just a second. So I could kind of see Rocksteady is saying this is their last Arkham game. And I say Arkham in quotes because I believe this is the end of their Arkham series. This game could do so well for them. I kind of expect them to do, okay, we've done 3 Batman Arkham games. We've wrapped up the Arkham series. I could see a totally new Batman game coming out, or maybe a I must have said Superman or Super Friends, a Justice League game coming out. That was kind of a speculation early on before Arkham Knight came out. There are some hints that possibly Superman could be in this game somewhere that I know some people are kind of hoping for. Sorry, I'm getting blinded by the sun here. So that could be part of it too, that this is in fact the end of the Arkham universe, and then there's going to be something new on the horizon. Or maybe Rocksteady is like, this is our final love letter in the Arkham universe, and we're going to go on to build something else. That could happen. That I'm not totally sure of. But if the statue of Bruce, or of Batman, is in fact a memoriam statue, which I've kind of seen online somewhere, then who gets to be Batman? You have Dick Grayson, so what if Dick Grayson picks up the mantle of Batman because Gotham City needs a Batman? That maybe the people close to Batman, that maybe the Joker and Batman finally do die. If you've read, this is spoilers, Batman 40, Scott Snyder has done something to both Batman and the Joker. I think this is out long enough. If you haven't read it, I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1. He is killed off in comics, Batman and the Joker. So we know in comics nobody ever stays dead. But that could happen here. So you could have maybe Dick Grayson picking up the mantle of Batman. Since this whole thing is father to sons, what if somewhere in the game Damian slips in? Or it could be Tim staying on as Robin and saying, you know, I will continue to be your Robin since Dick is going to be Batman now. Kind of like the prodigal storyline that came after the Nightfall series. After Bruce came back, he still wanted some more time after defeating Azrael and Bane, so Dick stepped in as Batman with Tim being his Robin. Or you go the Grant Morrison route and Bruce dies in a mysterious way, and Tim in the video game plays like the Red Hood, or plays himself, and it's kind of like, I still believe Bruce is alive, and nobody else does. So Tim goes off in his Red Robin persona, and maybe somewhere in the game Damian Wayne is introduced, and we get Damian as Robin in this game. In Arkham City, Talia and Bruce have already had a relationship. That is made mention during like the training sequence, not the training, but the part in the game in Arkham City where Bruce is going through the trials of the demon, and Talia is saying, you know, I remember the last time we were together. So Talia could have been pregnant. And maybe she's already had Damian, or maybe she was pregnant at the time when she was killed and is resurrected. You know, there's a lot of different ways that can go. But maybe Damian is somewhere in here because of the trailer, father and son. So it's Thomas Wayne talking to Bruce. what if this is kind of turned around by the end of the game, that Bruce is talking to his sons, Dick and Tim, and possibly even Damien himself. So I know that last part could be a stretch, but again, if you kind of revisit some of the very first trailers of Arkham City and Arkham Asylum and even Arkham Origins, they were telling us stuff in those very first trailers that did in fact happen at the end of the games, at the end of their respective games. So that is my about 40 minutes just discussion video here. I know I'm probably going to get some people going, oh, you're absolutely wrong. If that's wrong, I'm going to hate it. This is going to be a phenomenal game. If I'm right on every single thing, this will be one of the very first things that I've been right about before a movie or a comic or a video game has come out. We know how things work on the internet today. Sometimes a lot of things are spoiled for us before they come out, or some things are right there in front of our face and we just have to kind of look at it for what it is. So regardless if I get one of these right, two of these right, none of these right, this is going to be a great game. It's going to have so much content for us to play. As the sun is setting, it's starting to wash me out here. So this is where I'm going to leave the video. Thanks for watching. I enjoy reading your comments. The week of the 23rd, or actually probably the week before, since the 23rd is on a Tuesday, that probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish in that time frame. ODC, that's me, Anthony, and Tim, and myself will do another Arkham video. I haven't got confirmation from Tim yet, but it will definitely be Anthony and myself that we will have our last, final things that we're going to talk about before this game comes out. I cannot wait for this game to come out. I'm so excited. The next wave of action figures with Robin, Nightwing, Catwoman, and Commissioner Gordon look fantastic. I think this is going to be a solid wave of action figures, and this is just going to be a great, great game. So, again, thank you to the Finley GameStop for these posters and the other stuff that they're going to be giving me for when I do the next Arkham video that I'll post. So thanks, guys, and let me know what you think down in the comments below, if you think I'm way off base here or if you think I'm kind of close. So now that I'm done blathering here, I'm going to go watch Anthony's video and see how many things we had in common. And I'm really getting blinded here by the sun, so I'm going to go here. Probably a poor video at the end. Thanks, guys. Bye.